Hey there and welcome back. It's time for our Season 2 review with Stirling. I'm going to go ahead and say, if you haven't watched the last episode, pause right now, because I'm going to talk about some stuff that you don't want to hear about. Just go ahead, just pause, go watch it, come back. You back? Okay, great. We got freaking promoted. 6th place last year, league champs this year. Completely unexpected. It's because we drew about all of our games and won a couple. So we had the fewest losses in the league. Anyway, getting ahead of myself. That's made things interesting around Old Stirling and Fourth Bank Stadium. We've had a couple teams interested in hiring us. We've had some interesting changes in the squad. So let's take a look at the season review and let's see what we're going to do moving forward in this Journeyman Save. Roll that intro. All right, so it's episode number 25 from Backpack to Boss. Here we go. Let's look at that beautiful league table. Look at that. Look at that. 5 losses. 5 losses. 5. That is the fewest of the league by 3. And then when you draw a bunch, that's one way of getting promoted. I would have preferred to have won all of them, but hey, we'll take a 13 wins, 18 draws, 5 losses, 7 goal differential, 57 points, first place, automatic promotion. Abso-freaking-lutely. So let's take a look at the squad. I think what I'm going to show you first are our transfers, because I'm already on June 8th, and I could go back to a save, but it's just easier if I just show you. The biggest one that might not shock you is our left back. The whiny, the terrified of big games, the one, the only, Darren Petrie. So he's left on a free, because he's a whiny piece of garbage. I don't understand. He said he was frustrated. We weren't playing high enough level soccer. We got promoted. Ross Smith came to me and said, "Hey, coach, I'm your captain. This guy's not happy." I said, "Hey, could you go talk to him?" He's like, "Yeah." And then it said he dropped his concern and he wanted to stay at Stirling. And then I offered him a contract and he said, No, you're not big enough for me. So we tried to sell him at the last minute. No one's going to buy him with like 3 days left in the season. So he's released on a free. I mean, don't get me wrong. He was relatively expensive. He was on like $150 a week for us. But he'd made all kinds of demands the previous season. Wanted to be a key player. Wanted like $325 a week. And he's a 6'8" right? 32 appearances, 2 players of the match, no goals, no assists. But he was the most. He had the highest number of mistakes on the team. He had like 85 or plus, something like that, mistakes. So while I'm not exactly happy that we lost a 5-star guy, I'm not also just crushed because he dreaded playing in big matches, made all kinds of mistakes, and was just a whiny piece of garbage. Some other folks that we've lost: David Sinclair, our hero from our first season that the board didn't like. Didn't really get in the team this season, was costing us $55 a week. We said, see you later. Robbie McNabb, who was on the under-20s team or something like that, just wasn't going to ever make the team. Tommy McAllister has been asking for a move, and because we've got Neil Gallagher and Anthony Marangi on the left side and some other really good youngsters that are younger than 21, we said, see you later. Ross Kavanaugh, I feel a little bit bad about. Not going to lie. He's out for another 5 months with damaged knee ligaments, but he's really, he's 2.5-star potential, just not amazing. I do feel kind of bad because he got injured playing for us. Sam Davidson, kind of the same thing, just not very good. Not very good. Jack Crumlish, I'm upset about. He came to me and won a first team time. I need more playing time, coach. I said, okay, I want you to go work on your game. I gave him a specific thing to work on, right? Cool. It was like for 365 days he was going to work on that, and he was happy. He was like, sure. Went to offer him a contract, did the same thing. Darren Petrie, I'm not interested in signing a contract. I'm not happy right now. Well, piss off, mate. We've got some good people coming in behind you, so you're not that amazing. He would have been a good central defender, but his physicals aren't fantastic. Whatever. We'll see you later. So that's the only thing when we do our season review here and look at the stats that's really going to be different is Darren Petrie's not going to be there. And I just showed you his stats. They weren't amazing. No goals, no assists, nothing really to watch. Lots of mistakes. All right. So let's look here. So most appearances, Scott Davidson, kind of unexpected for me on that. I guess Brian Hodge had some more sub appearances to kind of match that. But 39 starts, 7.42 his last 5 games, 7.15 on the season. I quite like him. Valued at 3.6K, only 75 a week for the next year, and then he's going to want a pay raise, I guarantee it. But look at that, 99 key headers, really solid player for us. Also got a goal, a couple assists, no big deal. 22, lots of potential, loads of potential. Brian Hodge, kind of our veteran, 30 years old, a little less form at the end of the season, started wearing down, but overall a 7, 4 goals, 5 assists, 61 mistakes is a little high, but nothing like Darren Petrie. And then lots of good key passes, kind of in that attacking midfield role or box-to-box midfielder. This one kind of took me by surprise. Moses here, 22, not so great at the end of the season. We kept telling him, hey, you weren't playing really well. He's what, Nigerian? Yeah, Nigerian. But he's also our second leading scorer. So I was contemplating not bringing him back, but he's worth 4.3K right now. He's our second leading scorer. So I said, I guess we'll keep him around at least for another season, see if we might sell him off or kind of get something going there. Blair Henderson up top, even with getting injured. That's really impressive to me because he was out for 7 or 9 weeks, something like that. Fractured ribs, 7 weeks, and then he came back in strong. Still really good appearances, 15 goals for us, 4 assists. Right a hair below a 7 on the average. I think obviously getting injured didn't exactly help him out. But that's our top players. Again, looking at the goals, you got Blair the Hare, Moses, Jack Lametti, the youngster, 22 substitute appearances, 7 starts, got 6 goals. Those 7 starts obviously are when Blair was out with those fractured ribs. But I mean, loads of potential. He's worth 6.5K. We're paying him 45 a week till 2020. Yay! But he's really developing well. Anthony Maringi, again, a little injury prone, making me just a fuzz nervous. I mean, that's quite a lot, right? He missed 7, 8, 9 weeks. Yeah, that may not end up being the best purchase we make in the save. But still a 7.09 overall, 5 goals, 6 assists, not bad. And then it kind of dwindles down from there. Dixon with some crazy long-range shots. He had the goal of the season, all that good stuff. Let's look at the assists here. Neil Gallagher, 18 from that left wing. Look at that potential. That's just incredible. So really happy with that. And Maringi again on the left side. Moses, so it's more like we were getting assists from the left side, and Moses was banging them in on the right side. Average rating, I mean, that's amazing. The highest average rating and the most appearances on the team. Not bad, Scott Davidson. Not bad indeed. Maringi playing well. Ross Smith playing surprising well despite if I can get that out, a 3-star rating. And he's our team captain, got good leadership. We are bringing him back next season. Was debating not, but then I looked at the team. We have nobody with leadership. So we'll take Ross Smith. Yep. Sounds good. Brian Hodge with a 7. And then, not bad after that, but really happy with those guys. I hate how key passes defaults to 0 at the top. That's just ridiculous. Anyway, Boy the Hair with 24 key passes. Brian Hodge 21. Gallagher, Moses, Carlo Pignatello. 15 appearances, 14 key passes, 2 goals. Looks quite good. Very happy about him. Key headers we looked at. Scott Davidson is just miles above everyone else. Like Ross Smith, same position. He almost has double. He's almost doubling him up. That's just nutty. Key tackles. Not a whole lot of those because we don't do like the whole going hard. We get enough yellow and red cards on our own with that. And then you would see Darren Petrie at the top of this list with the mistakes. Brian Hodge, again, box-to-box midfielder. We're asking a lot from him. Our midfielder's making some mistakes here, so we might need to clean that up somehow next season. But let's look at the value. I'm just curious. Highest valued player, Jack Lametti, the 17-year-old. Chris Kane, who we brought on a transfer, 25-year-old. He's worth 6K. That's kind of unexpected. And that's what we're looking at there. I found something quite interesting with our board. So if you remember from last episode, we have a young man on our team who looks quite good. 4.5-star potential. Duncan. Watch this. I'm just going to let that sit there for a second. So you've got Sam Duncan. He's the chairman. You have a Duncan that's a director. Please tell me there's a this is like a family operation. You got Sam Duncan, you got Duncan Sr., and then playing on our team is Duncan Jr. Other things you might notice, we have an Andy Munro on our team. There's a James Munro. Maybe it's a common name. I don't know. We have a Lewis Rennie on our team. Let's just look here. And we have an Andy Rennie, a youngster on our team. Find that kind of interesting. Find that kind of interesting for sure. Let's see. What else can we look at here? Top goal scorer, Blair Henderson, 15 goals. Davidson, highest average rating. He had those. I could have sworn he set a record with the player of the matches. Haven't seen anything in the news about it. He had 8 of those last season. Most assists, Neil Gallagher. Best pass completion, Liam Callahan. I actually didn't think he played that well. So he didn't play a lot, but that's 85%. All right, son. All right. Yeah, Davidson, 9 player of the match awards. Come on. Dixon, of course, yellow card machine. And just 2 red cards for the entire season. At least straight reds. Let's look at, we do have some players coming in. Interesting. Josh Peters. All right. Striker, because Blair Henderson wanted us to, obviously, we pretty much, once we got rid of Ross Kavanaugh and Sam Davidson, we were kind of looking a little light on the strike front. So I'd already identified this guy playing for Forfar, who also just got promoted, ironically enough. But he's 21, 4-star potential. It looks pretty good. Maybe not the guy we start every game. I'd rather start Henderson and Lametti, but definitely bring him off the bench, get him some time. He played a 6.81 last season. Looks pretty good. Blair Cameron is someone I'm really excited about. We don't have players that can do this thing. This thing being playing in multiple positions. Yeah. So he can play midfield, pretty much whatever you want. Dribbling's good, first touch good. I mean, overall very solid. Physicals are just He's 26, but they're not terrible. And I think his technical abilities and some of his mental, his determination, concentration, composure, all that makes up for it. He can also play up here. So he's got a crossing of 9, dribbling, first touch is good. He might actually take over for Moses. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, he played a 6.81 last season, 35 appearances, workhorse kind of guy. Yellow, lots of yellows. Don't need more of that in the team. Didn't notice that. Cameron Belford is a goalkeeper we're bringing in from Queen's Park, which is also in League One now with us. We're not used to seeing green in the categories of skills. So he's got some work to do on the physical side. Or I guess that's not going to improve because he's 29, but he's pretty good here. The reason we went with Cameron, okay, he's not earning. I guess he hasn't joined yet. Right, let's look. I don't know what we're paying him. Lovely. Kidoki. But we've dropped Chris Smith is really what it comes down to. I know. I'm sorry, Chris. 32. He's been mentoring Alex Marsh on the youth team, but he's 3-star current and potential. His acceleration is horrific. I just want him to be able to get to the ball fast, right? His first touch is not so good. Some of the stuff hasn't been going so well. He's not as good as he seemed to be when we first started. Played a 6.87. He's just not amazing. When you compare him to Ryan Goodfellow, who used to have higher ratings, I guess we'll talk about that. We have some different coaching staff members. And the cost, that was the big thing with Chris Smith. So his cost right now is $250 a week. Okay. He gets $60 an appearance. He gets a shutout. We're just paying this guy insane. And he wouldn't come down. He wouldn't come down on his rates. So we said, we'll see you later. We went ahead and secured the other goalkeeper. We got Ryan Goodfellow locked in at $100 per week. We've got some loyalty bonuses, blah, 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 blah. We did all that. Gave him some salary raises, gave him kind of a longer term deal. Because I actually think he was rated much higher. So that's an interesting change from the coaching staff. But he can get the job done. And I'm actually quite excited about the Alex Marsh kid we have here. Again, his stuff here is not great. He's 17. Look at that potential. Yeah. We'll keep doing that, shall we? Everyone else, we are bringing back. We've signed some people to some long-term deals, hopefully, so we can maybe loan them out. Right, and really, because I hate doing the contract stuff with the entire team every single year, it's kind of nice to be able to lock them in for a little bit. So again, majority of the team is still just on a year contract, but some of our bigger players, Brian Hodge, Chris Kane, Jack LaMetti, Scott Sabald, Salim Nasser, Goodfellow, McGeechee, and Callahan are in good spots there for longer term deals. So we can actually not have to worry about them as much. That would be quite nice. Everything looks good over on the youth team. Let's look at the staff. What was his name? How would I see that? So we have a new, let's see. So Jordan Cadow stayed, our assistant coach. He's all right. There really wasn't that much better out there. So whatever, we'll keep him. We've got Jordan Gauld, who was with us last season. And he was more of like just a generalist. I think it was Martin Cox. All right. He said we weren't good enough. That we weren't at a high enough level, even though we just got promoted, which is just mind-boggling to me. And he was really, really good. I mean, so I don't blame him for wanting to move on, I guess. But it's just weird that like you get promoted and now it's like, oh, you're not good enough for me. I was willing to give him a long-term deal. So essentially, Jordan Gauld's going to take over his duties. We brought in Robbie Cormack, who, again, is kind of like the Jordan Gauld for Jordan Gauld, right? Martin Cox was really good, and Jordan Gauld was okay. Now, Jordan Gauld's the guy, and Robbie Cox is kind of, or Cormack is kind of okay. Not fantastic, but, you know, you only have so many options out there. Same thing with our head of youth development. He told us we weren't good enough, so we said, piss off. John Ireland actually stayed, so we brought in Liam Notman as our head of youth development. He's actually got, I guess his working with youngsters isn't as high, but his judging ability and potential ability is higher. So actually kind of maybe got a little bit of an upgrade there. Our scouts all stayed the same, our physio stayed the same, and we actually convinced the board to give us one more spot. We're actually going to see if we can hire a goalkeeping coach, because that would be clutch. I mean, look at this. Look at that. We've got quite the good coaching staff going on here. So let's take a look at some teams that have been interested in us. Actually, I don't know if I've already interviewed. So here was the deal. We got promoted. The finances are looking already pretty horrific. Now, granted, this last season thing was worse than expected because we paid out like $28,000 in bonuses, because I paid, some of the contracts I built in was like, if we win the league, we'll give you a lot of money to get people to come. And I wasn't expecting to win the league. And then we did. And so winning the league has actually cost us some money, which isn't good. They've upped the payroll budget. Yay. I'm trying not to use it because that keeps the board happy. Because I looked at some of the squads in League One, and it's not like they're just like balling out of control with their wages. And I kind of like our squad mostly. So we'll kind of see right now, right? We're at 3,600. I don't see a need to go to 7,000. Like that would just be insane. So hopefully that'll help with the bank balance. We really need to sell some more seats, right? Like get butts in seats. So I'm hoping getting the League One draws higher crowds, and that helps us out, because right now it's looking quite bleak, right? We started last season with like 150K and we're already down to 42. That's after winning the league. Oh, not so good. We got our sponsorship deal. Last season it was like 3,000. The season we took over, it was 30,000, and now it's up to a whopping 7. You'd think winning the league, you could get a better sponsorship deal, but that's just me. So anyway, Dumbarton, who is in League One, they just got relegated from the championship. I was listed as the favored personnel. Like, I didn't even know the job was there. I wasn't even looking. And then, like, someone from the newspaper called and was like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And I just wanted to see. Like, kind of what their payroll looked like and whatever. And this is a journeyman save. So I said, let's take a look. And their payroll was, like, less money than ours. didn't really look that amazing of a job. I still interviewed for it, but I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well, like, that's going to make the board mad probably. So I might as well like reach out and see, you know, are there some other options out there? So let's see. I interviewed, there was like a Hungarian team. Looks like they've already filled the job. I interviewed with this Bulgarian team. They said no thanks. And that, again, my only reason I'm not particularly interested in Bulgaria, this team actually just got relegated. So they're going to be in the 77th league versus where Stirling is right now. All right. This is 95th league. So I'm just trying to get into a better competition is all I'm trying to do. Like if you're going to go, right, go. It's because I wasn't really that interested in Dumbarton, but they said no. And then I just kind of applied for all like a League Two teams and stuff like that. They've all said no. And that's totally fine. We will stay at Stirling. We will rock our pin right there. Yeah. I don't know if that's autofocusing. I guess we'll find out when I watch the video. Real Madrid's open. Probably not going to get that. But I didn't get this job. I don't know what's going on here. That's weird. Did it not update in the save? They already alerted me that I didn't get the job. That's weird. Okay. Anyway, so that was my thoughts there. Oh, real quick. I'm going to cut this in the video. I realized what happened. I didn't get those jobs. And when I closed it, because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, I forgot to hit save. So I still didn't get the jobs, but that's what happened. That's why. Okay, back to video. Didn't end up with anything. So what we need to do now is go ahead and set up a tactic and, you know, get to the preseason, start scheduling some friendlies, because just like last season, there's going to be the middle of July is when the Betfred Cup. So you got to jam your friendlies in there. And I'm going to do the same thing this season. We need some cash money. So I'm going to see if we can get another league or cup or something going, because we need some money. But that's what's going on from the squad perspective. Let me know your thoughts. Would you have let Chris Smith go? I'll leave it up there in case you want to pause it. He was just too expensive. So hopefully you agree with me. And then how do you feel about Daryl McCarty being our starting left back? I'm not all that mad about it, but maybe you are. So leave a comment. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe button's going to be up there. Hit that like button. You guys have been great on the likes. Yeah. So thanks. We'll see you on the next episode.